So this Monday, July 3rd, was a big day for us. We shipped out 9 boxes of chicks and we were finally caught up. We had a great 4th of July, celebrating the fact that we were finally caught up, finally dug ourselves out of this hole that I put us into this spring by pre-selling chicks. And I mean, what I did isn't any different than any other hatchery does. They just have climate controlled buildings. They're not relying completely on Mother Nature like I am. So going forward, we're gonna have to figure out, well, how do we want to sell them? Because this was a big mess and we don't want it to happen again. Me and Liddy were talking over the 4th of July. You know, we're finally caught up. We got a bunch of eggs in the incubator. What's it gonna look like? How are we going to sell more of these? What are we gonna do? We got some exciting ideas. We're gonna change it up completely. Well, then this morning we got a phone call from the post office and it said your chicks are still sitting in Grand Rapids. They gave me the decision whether I wanted them to leave today out of Grand Rapids and continue on their destination, or if I wanted them to come back. And that was a tough decision for me because we're so close to getting caught up. Now, we had a lot of questions from people when we were shipping them out on July 3rd. Like, well, can you do that? The post office isn't gonna be open tomorrow. And we talked to our postmaster, we talked to plenty of other people, and they all said, your chicks will still move towards their destination. Nobody's gonna be able to pick them up on the 4th of July, which is fine, because very rarely do the chicks get there in one day. Most of them are 2 days. So like, hey, they're still sitting in Grand Rapids. We don't know why. Somebody made the decision to hold them there the whole 4th of July instead of sending them, and they don't know why that happened. If they were gonna do that, why did they accept them? Nobody knows. And the postmaster said that we weren't in the wrong, and they should have moved, and she doesn't know why they didn't move. She even picked them up and brought them back to us herself in her personal car, brought them back to our house, which was very nice of her. We were devastated because now this just sets us back again. We're hatching a lot of chicks right now, so we'll be able to catch back up to that very quickly. But 9 boxes of chicks, we had them pre-sold, so they're at $10 a piece with 25 chicks in each box. So that's $2,250 worth of chicks. And if they don't make it to their destination, we're gonna have to replace them. And I don't want all these chicks to die anyways, despite the money portion of it. So we decided to bring them back, so we're not having a bunch of phone calls from customers of dead chicks. We do need new breeding stock, and we need to be working towards that. I just didn't, when you're already behind on your orders, I just didn't feel like I could take chicks out of those orders and keep for myself when I'm already behind. So we're gonna go ahead and open these up. Hopefully they're all still doing good. They have been in these boxes for 2 days. I got the brooder all ready. I'm actually in the middle of switching my brooder room to what was the butcher room, so I can remodel the butcher room to make it Michigan certified. So that's kind of a setback in that aspect, but that's okay. So let's open these up and see what they look like. So every morning I box these up into their boxes, and then Liddy actually goes through and seals them after she decides where they're going, what the weather is. She pokes out the right amount of holes for them. So these all are still alive and healthy, which is good. They should be. I mean, we pride ourselves in our shipping. Liddy puts a lot of thought in how many holes to pop out of these to keep the chicks safe and healthy. Us knowing that it was going to take 4 days and maybe 5 days for them to get to their destination just wasn't a good idea. This is the most amount of chicks I've ever put in a brooder at once. Even in my Cornish cross days, I would only get 100 at a time. So the first thing chicks want is warmth. Once they get warm, they'll go find water and then food. Well, there you go. This is after about 15 minutes. You can see they've all settled in nicely. Some are under the heat lamps, which I turned off just for this video. Quick a second. Some are drinking. This is an automatic water, which I kind of hate in the beginning because they get in it like that. And there's another water over there. 3 feed stations, a heat plate, 2 heat lamps. This is 250 American Bresse chicks, more than I've ever had in a brooder at once, all day old. We definitely made the right choice bringing these guys back home. It stinks for our customers. It stinks for us. I mean, this is how we pay our bills now, so it really puts a hurt on us. This room is hot. It's always hot in the summer. It's insulated really well, and it holds way too much heat in. So it's like at 90 degrees, which is almost worse because the chicks don't find the need to go under the heat lamp as much as they would if it was, say, 60 degrees or 65 or even 70. So that's kind of a negative. That's why I like to start them out in a smaller tote, and then I'll move them on to something like this. But obviously 250 of them, I don't have that many totes. So we'll see how they do.